y'all, it's Alex and welcome back to my channel. Now, before we get into today's piece, we're going to take care of something that's been bugging me for a little while. So, every day I've done these pieces, I need to mix new ink washes, and then I waste a whole bunch of it. So I got sick and tired, and I mixed my own inks, and I ruined my desk in the process. Woohoo! This Inktober is just going to be day after day of me ruining my desk, apparently. So over there is day 5, and that will be up in the top corner, and today's ink is Ecoline 3, well, today's watercolor is Ecoline 311. Since today's prompt is husky, I decided what better way to represent the prompt than to draw a husky dog. As in the breed husky, not just a big dog. And I'm pretty sure that's about what 90% of people are going to do today, but I mean, I always want the excuse to draw a dog. Now, I'm sorry if the line art is a little hard to see. I've noticed recently that using my HB pencils, I'm having a lot harder time erasing. I just am very heavy-handed when it comes to using pencils. And I've been trying to get better about it, but I'm just a very heavy-handed person. So I've had to switch down to a 2H pencil, just so that way the line art is a little easier for me to erase, and hopefully I will be able to tone down my hand pressure a little bit in the coming weeks. That's definitely one thing that's going to be really good about doing these pieces every day. Boy, does it ingrain things in your mind. So, kind of like the story behind this piece, we have the husky witch who has all of these friends, and maybe the husky is the witch themselves. They have changed themselves into a dog, and then the other 3 animals are their familiars. Maybe the husky just happened to have found a magic wand and hat and is giving hats out to the rest of his friends. However, the husky is casting a spell to give the deer, the raven, and the snake their own witches' hats. If you watched yesterday's piece, you will remember the design for the snake. I absolutely loved how I did the bones along its back, and that is definitely going to make a reappearance here. The deer was, in my thumbnail, the pose for the deer was a lot better. I'm not unhappy with it here, but deer are definitely not my strong suit, and I kind of think the raven's wings look a little wonky, but as evidenced in my my random character drawing, which I will link in the top corner, wings are not my strong suit. They're hard to draw. Even looking at reference pictures, I was not able to interpret them very easily. I wanted to do kind of like a scenery background for this, but then I realized, oh yeah, I'm filming this at 11 o'clock at night. This probably isn't going to get done until, if I do a background, it's not going to get done till 1 a.m. And then I still have to record audio, and I actually won't be around a computer like the entire day, so there won't be time for me to edit. So back to backgrounds, yes. So instead of doing a scenery background, I just decided that they'd be standing up somewhere high enough where there's just clouds behind them. And in the background you have 3 moons. But now that I'm looking at it, it would have made, I don't know whether or not it would have made a better piece to make 4, since there's 4 individuals here. I just don't know why that I don't like having just 1 moon. Something I also realized as soon as I was done inking this piece, there wasn't exactly anywhere for me to put the skull that, you know, I said I wouldn't mention in day 3, but I tried having the snake come out of one, but that felt a little too funky, so I decided to nix that. Oh, I could have put it in as a cloud. Oh no. Time to go back and redo this entire piece. So in my coloring, my plan was to have the husky and the crow be dominantly black toned or gray toned, and then have the snake and the deer be dominantly in the orange tone. The orange ended up being very much more of like a hot Cheetos orange instead of a normal Cheetos orange, if that makes sense. And to kind of balance that out, I was going to do orange hats on the two with the dominantly dark toned, and then black hats on the two that were dominantly orange toned. And to kind of show that the hats are appearing, they're kind of like half translucent. I had the coloring mixed around on the snake's hat for a second there, because it's more, the line art is more fully formed at the bottom, and then I had it be a little bit more dotted towards the top. God, ignore my awful nails. The problem with working mostly with plaster and paint during the day is that I can't have good nails when I actually want to. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of, I can't remember if it's paint or plaster today. I worked with both. Oh no, it's wood filler. That's it. Yep. And just if you're happening to listen to this and hear any, mysterious grumbling noises or angry yelling from a cat, Rosebud has decided to join me while I'm recording this, and everyone else in the house is asleep, so therefore I am the only one left to give her pets. So for this color, I was not expecting it to be this bright in a single coat. It's definitely more of a red tone orange than I expected, and when you layer it on top of itself, the redness definitely becomes more apparent. Then when you shear it out by wetting it down with water, because that's how watercolors work, it's oddly pink toned. Like, I noticed that while I was working on the crow's hat and the auras around the hats, that when it dried, it leaned closer to a pink, and that just kind of waked me out a little bit, I guess. I absolutely loved this color for the snake, though. The snake is like 100% my favorite part of both yesterday's piece and today's piece. I don't know, however, whether or not I prefer it with these, with all the vertebrae going down the back. That was really easy for yesterday since it was such a small figure in the piece. I wanted to include more detail in the bones today. I lost a little bit of my filming of going over the bottom part of the sky with dark gray. The original plan for the background was to go in with dark gray towards the base of the sky and then orange towards the top of the sky, because otherwise I was worried if I went with too much watercolor around where the other watercolor was, I would cross the borders and make it bleed across like I did at the very bottom of the grass. However, that ended up being very useful for creating the shadows around them, or around the snake and the husky, so worked out in the end. I also went in towards the end and made more shadows on the husky. I just felt like if all three moons were coming from behind, it would be, the shadows would be casting towards the image, or towards the viewer. So it felt a little weird leaving the husky as all white. And I tried being very careful about the color of the sky and not making it the exact same color as the hat on the husky. However, I think I probably could have done better to differentiate those tones a little bit. I didn't want the sky to be too light, however, but overall I don't think it's that bad. I think the clouds are my least favorite part of this piece. There are some that I forgot to leave white spaces on because I was just trying to get through as quickly as possible, to be honest. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's Inktober piece. And actually, you know what? We're gonna go ahead and cover over the bottom of the sky with orange, just because I feel like it doesn't balance correctly when that part of the sky is gray. And I also went back in with a Bic whiteout pen to give some highlights to some of the clouds that I originally hadn't given highlights to. Alright, if you'd feel so inclined, hit that subscribe. If you'd feel so inclined, hit that subscribe button and check me out on my other social media handles. Thanks, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.